My name is DeMaria. I have completely started my channel all the way over and I'm so glad to be back. I have some life updates. I went back to work. It's just a lot that happened in these past few months that I've been gone from YouTube, but I'm so glad to be back. And I really hope that you guys enjoy this next video. Today, we're going to be talking about the 10 tips that I have for first-time home buyers. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, I bought a house. And I'm going to plug in a house tour too at the end, so that way y'all can check out and see what the house looks like. So without further ado, let's get into it. So tip number one, do your own research. Research everything. What area do you want to live in? Drive around that area a few different times a day. So what we did was we chose a couple cities that we wanted to live in, and one of them was a little bit further away. Another one was pretty local. So both of the areas that we were looking in, we just chose separate days to go to both of those cities. We drove around different times of the day. We went in the morning, we went in the evening, we went a little bit on the weekends, just to see what the area was like and really get a feel to see, can we see ourselves here long term? Is it safe enough? Can our kids play outside? Like, is it just an overall good neighborhood? And I think that was really important for us to do, and I think it's very important for you as well, is to just research, see ways that you can save money. I highly recommend going to nerdwallet.com. It has pretty much all the information that you need in order to buy a house. Something else that I wish I had done prior to purchasing the home was looking up great schools. I think it's greatschools.org. Seeing the surrounding neighborhood and see how the schools were rated, that definitely probably would have swayed my decision another way. We live in a great area, and I think that if you do have children and you're thinking about buying a home, highly recommend researching the schools around you. Number two, know what you can afford. So when you go in to buy a house, when you go into a bank and say, hey, I'm ready to buy a house, I want to get pre-approved, whatever, they are going to sit down, you're going to go over the paperwork, give them some numbers. They're going to come back and tell you, hey, you can afford to buy a $600,000 house. And you're probably going to think, oh my gosh, I had no idea. But in reality, can you really afford that house? So what I mean by that is, okay, yes, I can buy the $600,000 house, but how am I going to pay my light bill? How am I going to pay my cable bill? How am I going to pay my water bill? There's so much more that actually goes into buying the house besides the house. So figure out a number that you're comfortable with spending. Factor in all of your extra bills. So if you have to pay for daycare, if you have to pay for credit cards, anything else that you have to do, calculate it and decide, can I afford this house? And if you cannot, it's okay to say that and just let them know, okay, great, I'm glad I have this number to work with. Get your pre-approval letter, take it to your realtor, and let them know, hey, I was approved for this much, but I actually want to stay in between this range. And just be straightforward and be honest with them and let them know, like, this is what I'm comfortable spending. Show me some great houses. My husband and I have been in our house for about close to 5 months, and it was probably the best decision that we ever made. We're so happy. Something that we are so grateful for is that we haven't gone house poor. And I know from watching other people's experiences, I realized that it is very possible to go house poor, because you have all this money to buy the house and then you don't think about everything else that goes into it. So if your refrigerator breaks, or like for us, like when we first got here, our water heater went out and we ended up having to pay out an additional $1,000 just to get that fixed. Although we had a home warranty, it didn't cover that for some reason. Like, it's just a lot of other things that go into it that you have to be mindful of and consider when you're purchasing a house, because like I said, anything can happen at any day, and you want to be sure that you have enough money set aside to be able to cover those things without having to really stress about it. You don't want to go house poor. You don't want to stress yourself out and end up just regretting buying a house in general. So calculate all those numbers, and then also decide, like, am I ready to commit to a loan? Am I ready to commit to a 15 or 30 year loan? Because this is something that you can't just give it back once you're done. Like, that creates a ton of problems. So sit down, calculate some numbers, write out your list, figure out what you want. This actually brings me into number 3, which is make a list of your needs, wants, and non-negotiables. So my husband and I, we actually sat down together. We put up a list of the things that we really just have to have and things that we want, but if we don't get them, it's okay. And then also things that we don't want at all. So one of the biggest things that was very important to both of us is that we had to have a big yard. Like, that was just something that could not be negotiated at all. Had to have a big yard. We had to have at least 3 bedrooms. We actually ended up getting a 4th bedroom, which was perfect because that was on our our extra want list. But it's like, if we didn't get it, it was okay. And then we also had some things that we just didn't want. Like, we didn't want a small backyard. We didn't want a closed in space. We didn't want it to be super tight. We didn't want to not have a front yard. We wanted to have space. We didn't want our house. We just had a lot. But it was very important for us to both sit down together and write out that list and figure out exactly what we wanted. So that way, once we actually went and started looking at houses, we knew what to look for. So it actually made it a lot easier for us to narrow down to what we really wanted. So my 4th tip today is to get a pre-approval letter, not a pre-qualification letter. Don't go online and just type some numbers in and have them calculated on a computer. No, go in, meet with a mortgage consultant, give them exactly how much you make, how much your partner makes, or if it's just you, do that. Meet with them face to face, get to know them, because this person is going to be, besides your realtor, this is going to be your go-to person. They're going to be handling all the financing for your house. Get your pre-approval letter and then take it to your realtor. You want to build a very good relationship with your mortgage consultant because they're going to be your go-to person when it comes to your underwriting, making sure that all your documents have been submitted, all I's have been dotted and T's have been crossed. You want to have a very good relationship with them so that way they can actually work for you and make the process that much more smooth. But the next tip is for you to find an amazing realtor. You want someone that is going to go out of their way for you, someone that actually does not mind working hard, someone that isn't bothered when you text them or call them. For the most part, they all work 24 hours a day, so usually whenever you call them, they should answer. So it's important for you to get a very good relationship with them, get to know them, have them know what it is that you want, so that way they can send you stuff without you even having to do a lot of research. I mean, obviously do your own research and look in the area and see some houses that you want, but they should be able to know exactly what you want. For example, my realtor, he actually took me to see a house. My husband wanted to see the house, and as soon as we pulled up to it, he said, "You're not gonna like this. Like, you're just not gonna like it." And I'm like, "You're right. You're right, I'm not gonna like this." And then we walked through because, we didn't want to waste each other's time, but we walked through, and as soon as we got done, we were like, no, and we're on to the next one. But we had built such a great relationship that he already knew what I liked and what I didn't like, and he just knew right off the back, like, oh, this is just gonna be a waste of your time, but let's go see it anyway. So it's important for them to get to know you. It's important for you to get to know them. And yeah, like, just, and if it does not work out, if you guys are not clicking, it's okay to find someone else. It is totally okay. This is a very big purchase in anyone's life, and you're spending a lot of money. So you want to be able to get along with whoever it is that's selling you the house, So yeah, find somebody that you can vibe with, find someone that you like, someone that is going to go out of their way for you, someone that is going to make sure that your offer stands out and give you the tips just in case you do get outbid to get the next one. Tip number 6, understand your loan options. So there are plenty of different types of mortgage loans that you can get. Some of the most popular being an FHA loan, a VA loan, and I think it's like a conventional loan. I don't want to go too in detail about these types of loans. Like, I can save that for another video, but look at those different types of loans and see which one would be best suitable for you. Do you want a 15-year loan? Do you want a 30-year loan? Really get to know and talk to your mortgage lender and determine which will be best for your financial situation. Tip number 7, and I will say this is probably the most important rule. If you don't, and not even important rule, most important tip. If you haven't listened to anything else I said this entire video, please listen to this. save, save, and save some more. Whatever number you have in your head, double it. So if you were thinking, oh, I'm going to move into this house with $5,000, okay, yes, that's cool. But since you're probably going to need $10,000, realistically, you're probably going to need closer to $20,000. And when we actually first really started getting serious about the house we wanted to buy, we had $10,000 as a goal that we wanted to save. And then, and that was mainly because we kept seeing all these advertisements everywhere, like, oh, you can move into a house with $10,000, you can move in with $5,000, blah blah blah. So we're thinking, oh, cool, all we need is money for our down payment. So boom, we reached that goal, and then we started realizing, like, oh, we need money for closing costs. We need money for any additional fees that we have to pay. We need money for furniture. We need money for food. And had a list of things that we just started thinking about that we had to start saving for as well. So save as much as you can. Like, we seriously dedicated, I think, 2 years straight. So whatever number you were thinking about saving, just double it. And I swear, just throw on extra. Like, if any Christmas cards or $20 that you find in your laundry hamper, like, put it to the side and save this, because you're gonna need it. Like, it was like, okay, like, we have it, here you go. Like, we're already prepared. So I don't want you to get surprised thinking like, I have enough money for my down payment, but then you don't have enough for everything else that comes with it. So save. Tip number 8, work on your credit. So this, in addition to saving, credit is going to be your best friend. I know that if you have a lower credit score, like typically like upper 500s, you can be approved for a loan, but realistically, you're probably going to end up paying a lot more for the loan. So if you can hold off buying your house right now and just spend some time really getting your credit together, making your payments on time, working on getting anything out of collections paid off, get that credit score up as high as possible, because when you do have a higher credit score, you typically have a lower interest rate or annual percentage rate. So work on your credit. It's very important. Get it done. Also, in addition to working on the credit, don't open up any additional lines of credit while you are in the home buying process. So because my credit has gotten so good, I get credit card offers every single day. I get loan offers every day, whether it's a personal loan or an automobile loan. I get them every day. And it's very tempting to want to say, yes, like, I'll get it. But while you're actually in that home buying process, you've been pre-approved, your offer has just been accepted by a seller, you don't need anything else extra to come in and mess everything up that you've been working towards. So work on that credit. Don't open up any additional lines of credit unless you just absolutely have to. But even then, just don't do it. Tip number 9. Okay, so you put in your offer letter has been submitted. You have to turn in all this paperwork. You have to turn in pay stubs. You want to be sure that you don't have any large transactions coming in or out or transferring out of your account, cash transactions, because then your underwriters are going to have to then reach out to you and try to figure out exactly where you got this money from. And it could be something so simple as, I have an additional account and I transfer money over. Okay, well, why are you doing that? So it just makes things a lot more complicated. So if you can, try to only make purchases with your debit card, and just try to use your debit card or, get direct deposit just while you're going through that process. Because underwriting, every day it felt like there was something else extra that they asked us for, and I just felt like that particular item just could have been avoided. So my final tip for you is to be patient and enjoy the process. It is so stressful to think about, but while you're in the moment, enjoy it. If it's your first home or even if it's your second home, enjoy the process, because it's so much fun to actually go to the houses, go to the properties and look at them and just think and imagine like the ways that you can put together your house or have parties or whatever it is that you like to do while you're in the house. So be patient. You probably won't get the first house that you go after, which is okay, but just realize that it's a process and you're gonna get through it. You're gonna find your dream home. It's gonna be so much more worth it once it's all said and done. For us, we actually ended up putting our offer on the very first house that we saw, and we were so heartbroken that we got outbid, but it was okay. I mean, I didn't actually expect to get the house because, like I said, it was our very first one, but it was just so nice to actually travel around to different cities and see different locations and just imagine our kids growing up there. It was such a great experience that just take it all in. Take pictures of your closing day, take pictures of you turning the key for the first time. Do everything that you can to really take in the moment, so that way you can look back 5 years from now and say, wow, I did it. Oh, I did have a couple questions. I was so excited because people actually sent me questions. The first question I want to answer was, were student loans a problem for me? No, student loans were not a problem for me. My student loans are pretty much all paid off, so it really didn't make a difference. And when I did have them, I paid them all on time, so it wasn't that big of an issue. Okay, so another question: did we use a realtor? Yes, we did use a realtor. His name was Roderick. He was super great, super helpful. Yes, we did get a realtor. The next question is, did we go through any assistance programs? We did not go through an assistance program, but we did go through my husband's tribe, a Native American tribe. So their tribe actually offers home loans. So we were able to get a great rate for our loan. We got very low down payment. So for the most part, yes, we had a really good program, but it wasn't necessarily an assistance program. Like, they didn't give us anything to towards our loan.